This is a video resource to help us continue our work together and to support the things that we're learning until we can see each other face to face. So what we're going to do is we're going to be practicing a stabilization exercise called container. And so what I want you to do is use your imagination and create a container. And it could be anything. And this container is to put away the things that stress you out or trigger you or make you angry that you just can't focus on right now because you have other things to do. Maybe you get road rage when you're driving, or you have anxiety while you're testing, or you are trying to work and you're distracted by your stresses, anxieties, and triggers. And so this container is not for us to bury things or put things away. No, this container is a promise to ourselves that we will deal with these emotions later when we have privacy or emotional safety or a support person. And so we are making this promise to ourselves. We will deal with these emotions, just not right now, because it's not safe or we don't have the energy or the support we need to deal with it in a better way. So this container needs to have a way to put things in, but it also needs to have a way to take things out, because we need to take them out later so we can deal with them. This container also needs to be strong enough to be able to hold whatever it is that we need it to hold without breaking. And it needs to be comfortable enough on the inside that the things that we put in there are willing to stay. So you can close your eyes and imagine this, or keep your eyes open. You can take a piece of paper and draw out or paint what this container looks like. Some people actually use a physical envelope or a box to put their things in, write it down and put it away. Any of those things work. They're wonderful. So just think about what your container will look like. What color is it? What material is it made out of? What does it feel like in your hands to touch? What does it look like on the inside? How can you put things in and how can you take them out? And what is it made out of so it's strong enough? Just think about that for a moment, whatever that may be. And we're going to think about how it would feel to be able to put things away in that container. Just think about, what would it feel like to have that power and control, to be able to put things away until you can deal with them in a safer way. And we're going to think about how that would feel and how wonderful and how empowering that would feel. And we're going to do a thing called tapping that in. So you can either give yourself a little angel hug, right, on hands on your biceps and tap one side, then the other side. Or you can use a butterfly tap, which is crossing your thumbs over, putting your thumbs here at your chest and tapping one side and then the other side. I'm going to use the butterfly tap since it's easier to see in the video. And just think about how it would feel to be able to put things away. You can have your eyes open or closed, and we're going to tap. Slow, soothing taps. We don't want to go fast. We just want to go slow. Then take a breath. And notice how you're feeling. If you're feeling relieved, or if you're feeling like it didn't work and maybe you need to do it again, and that's okay because things don't always work the first time. And just notice what you're feeling and go ahead and tap that in again. Just imagine using that container and how that would feel to be able to use it. Take a breath. Great job. So now what we need to do is we need to create a cue word for your container. It could be anything. It could be container. It could be how you feel when you use it, relief or safety, or it could be the name of what the container is, if it's a jar or a basket or a box. Whatever word you want to use to remind yourself about your container, use it. Whatever word. So go ahead and just pick whatever word comes to mind. Usually that first word that you thought of, that's the right one. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just say that word over and over again to ourselves while we do this. So I'm going to use container since that's the name of our exercise, and to not add more to it. So I'm just going to say container, 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 and take a breath. Great. Now we're going to practice with that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, not really that big of a deal, to 10 being the most stressful or upsetting it possibly could be, we want to pick something in our minds that's a 1 or a 2. Maybe it's waiting too long in line for coffee, or maybe it's, being late for class. Whatever that is, 1 or a 2, where it's not too upsetting, but we're going to use that to practice. So go ahead and think about in your head this 1 or 2. I'm going to use, for example, waiting for the internet to stop buffering when I'm watching something. And so that's a 1 or 2. So sometimes I feel frustrated and annoyed. And so I'm going to think about that frustrated and annoyed, and then I'm going to use my container. So, container. And put it away. Container. Container. Okay. And breath. And notice the difference in how you're feeling. I feel more calm. And sometimes maybe it doesn't work the first time, and like I said, that's okay. Sometimes it takes a little bit of practice. And so that's how you can use your container. Now we can think of a time in the past where having this knowledge would have been helpful for you. Maybe it was an argument with a loved one, or maybe it was being distracted while you needed to be doing your work, but you were distracted by some sort of trigger. Maybe it was, having some negative feelings about self-esteem when you were supposed to be doing a presentation. And you can put those things away until you can deal with them in a safer time. So going back and using your imagination to rewrite the past, and imagine using your container in that past incident and how that would have felt if you could have done that in that time. So we're going to tap in again. Container. 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 Breath. And just notice how you're feeling. And the one final thing we're going to do is we're going to use our imaginations to think about how you could use your container in the future. Use your imagination and think about something that may pop up. Maybe it's something that has to do with this COVID outbreak. Maybe it's something to do with having to work at home or not being able to be around friends. Or maybe it's something that has nothing to do with that. Maybe it's potentially being triggered at some other time where you're just not able to deal with it at the moment. Think about that. Think about the emotions you would feel at that moment. And then also imagine yourself using your container and how it would feel to use that container and be able to put things away. And we're going to tap that in. Container. 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 And take a breath. Good work. So a few notes on using the container. When you're tapping, it needs to be very slow and short. If we tap fast or if we tap long, we can accidentally bring up memories from the past, and that's not helping. So slow, short tapping. Also, sometimes this may work and sometimes it won't. And so if you're feeling frustrated that it's not working, it's okay. Maybe putting that away and trying it again another time. And you can always ask for help. Thank you so much for watching.